Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Naomi. Naomi is a model and she's from England in the UK. So let's see what Naomi has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello. Yes, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Hi.
Hello Naomi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Very well, thank you very much. It's snowing in London, can you imagine?
Yeah, it's snowing, look at this.
Oh my god, you're in London as well.
No, I'm in Leicestershire, so just not, it's less than an hour on the train outside London. But yeah, crazy.
I went this morning, I went for a coffee walk with a friend of mine in the park and suddenly started like snowing everywhere. I was like, oh my god, how amazing, how lucky.
It's lovely, isn't it? What a treat.
So many people posting online some pictures, videos of snow, everyone gets so happy.
Yeah, it just lightens the mood, doesn't it?
Amazing. Okay, Naomi, just before we start the game, just tell me where are you from?
So I'm from, originally I'm from the UK, and I'm in Leicestershire.
Okay.
And okay. Indy, there's a dog that might jump in at various points.
Can I see? No?
Yeah, Indy, come in. I've done a remote modelling shoot this morning, and
wow.
And she was in quite a lot of.
Oh my god, look at this. It's a boy or a girl?
It's a girl, Indy.
What's her name?
Indy.
Indy. Oh, hello, Indy.
So she'd probably pop in and out.
Good.
But yeah, so I had a remote shoot, a modelling shoot this morning, and so I had to shut. I've got two dogs. The other one's here. Hang on.
Oh,
Hello. And I had to shut them out because they're just like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Keep them around.
Yeah, can I join in?
Right, Naomi, just, and what do you do for a living?
So I work in children's mental health.
Okay.
I run a Facebook group for lockdown mental health support that's got 1,000 people in it now.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm modelling. I'm a model. So.
Great.
Yeah.
And tell me what's the best part of being a model?
I think the creativity and meeting people. Like even just now, I just did a remote shoot with this guy I've never met, but you know we had like a real laugh. It was just really nice, and yeah, we had a really good chat, and yeah, I just really love it.
Very good. What's the name of this one?
This is Liesel. So I got Liesel and Indy.
Oh, very sweet, very sweet.
That's very cute. I know.
Ooh. I think she wants to answer some questions as well. Really much
she's ready. She's ready to answer.
Okay, Naomi. So welcome to William and the Magic Box. Box here full of random fun questions, okay? So what am I going to do now? I'm just going to play a music just for us to get in the mood before the first question. Ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Let's do it. Hope you like the music. Right, Naomi, ready for the first question?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's do it. So the first question is, what are the top 3 things on your bucket list?
Ooh. Top 3 things on my bucket list. Oof. Traveling is a big one for me. I've travelled a lot and I really, really miss that actually. So I think China is a big one for me. I really want to go to China and I want to see the Terracotta Army and walk the Great Wall. That's one.
Right.
I'd quite like to do like a parachute jump. I've been saying that for a really long time, but I really would like to do it. And I'd like to retire. Like I don't know if you've seen Arnold Schwarzenegger's retired to his house in Malibu, and he's got like a little mini donkey and a little miniature pony, and he just hangs out with them all day, and I want to do that. That's like my retirement package, is like me and 2 small ponies, just having a great time running around. Yeah.
It's like a therapy, isn't it? Like a
with like probably 8, 9 tiny dogs just thrown in for good measure. So yeah, so China, parachute, small ponies.
Very good. Which one do you think is going to happen first?
China. China. I could parachute into China.
Oh, there you go.
2 birds with 1 stone. There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's go for the second question.
Okay.
Let's do it. Right, Naomi, just before the next question, tell me about your business on the mental health, helping children.
Tell you about which bit, sorry?
About the mental health, your business.
So I've always worked with vulnerable children and families, and I just really like kids and helping families, and mental health has always been like a big thing for me. Like I've always been a real advocate for improvements to mental health treatment. So that's why I set up the mental health group at the start of lockdown, because I just knew that it was going to cause lots of problems for people, and like I say, we've ended up with about 1,000 people, over 1,000 people in the group. So it's a bit of a passion of mine, I think.
Okay, cool. Okay, Naomi, next question is, what is the nicest thing a family member has ever done for you?
Ooh. So I'm really close to my dad. And my dad's done loads of lovely things for me, and my stepmom. But I remember probably my nicest memory of my dad is when I was little. He used to give me coffee. Actually, that sounds really bad, doesn't it? But he used to give me coffee when I was 7 or 8, and I'd always have it in this little mug with a purple and pink tiger on it. And he'd put 2 sugars in the coffee and milk, and we'd sit and like read the papers together. And that's like a memory that I always have of like drinking coffee with my dad and feeling really grown up. And yeah.
Do you have brother and sister as well?
I had a brother, but he passed away, unfortunately, a few years ago. And I have a stepsister. So yeah.
Very good.
Those were nice memories of my dad.
Great. Another question for you, Naomi. Let's do it. Right, Naomi, next question is, what was the last thing that made you smile?
Dogs, my dogs. Probably, they make me smile a lot. I was just smiling at them just then. And this remote shoot I just did, I was chatting to the guy who did it, was really cool. So we had a good laugh, so that was nice. I'm a smiler. So.
How old are your dogs?
Sorry?
How old are they, your dogs?
Oh, okay, so Liesel, the bigger one, I mean, they're both tiny, but the bigger one is 5. And then the little one actually was 1 last Wednesday. So,
Did you get them as a present, or you put
She did have a little present. I wrapped it and everything. So, and she opened it. So, yeah.
That's good.
So, yeah.
Cool. Another question. Right, Naomi, next question is, what is your spirit animal?
What is my spirit animal? It would probably be a dog. I like that they're loyal, and I think they've got a good mix between like loving being outdoors and being sociable and like running around, and then just being at home and chilling out on the sofa and not doing anything. I think that's very much like me. So I think I've spent so much. I've always had dogs, and so I think I've spent just so much time with them that I've kind of morphed into one a little bit. So yeah, definitely a dog.
My Chinese star sign is a dog.
There you go. I think mine might be actually. I might have to look that up.
Yeah, I think Chinese one is by the year when you were born.
Yeah, I'll look it up. I reckon mine would be a dog.
And what's your star sign?
I'm a Leo, lion.
There you go. Like being charged.
Yeah, a little bit, I think. It's just awful. I'm not sure I believe in star signs massively. Like, my granddad was really into it, but whenever I read like Leo traits or whatever, or even like physically how Leos look and stuff, I'm always a bit like, oh, yeah, actually.
They're very creative. The Lions are very, very creative. I've got
kind of bossy and a bit dramatic, and so I think I'm a bit of a Leo. Yeah.
Next question, Naomi. Let's do it. Naomi, tell me, and what's the most challenging part of being a model, in your opinion?
Most challenging part? Ooh.
Yeah.
I suppose it depends what you want out of it, really. Like, I think there's a lot of young models that I think there's a lot of pressure on them to get the jobs, to look a certain way, to keep up with what everybody else is doing and how everybody else is looking. And particularly now with things like Instagram, you know, everything is like filtered and everything's put out really rapidly. So I think that's a massive challenge if you're kind of young and just starting out and things that feel a bit stressful. But I think because I'm a bit older and I've got some separate. Sorry, the dogs are fighting. I'll move.
That's okay.
And because I've got a separate career as well and other things that I do,
yeah,
I probably don't feel as much of that pressure. But yeah, when I speak to younger models, I think that's massively how it is. You know, everybody's having things put in their face now, and then there's filters, and people don't look how they look in real life on the internet.
Cool.
And yeah, so I think that's quite a big pressure.
Cool. Next question is, what was your best friend's name growing up, and why did you consider this person as your best friend at the time?
Ooh. So I had two best friends, I think. I had Gemma when I was in primary school, and then
I love it.
And and you, obviously, you. And then I had Poppy, and I had Robin, and I think it's the same thing I look for in friends now. Really, I just like people who are funny and silly and don't take themselves too seriously, but like talking about the big things in life, you know, like really getting down to the nitty gritty and having big chats, and yeah, just like honest people who are not scared to kind of be really honest about who they are. That's what I'm drawn to in friends, and I think I've always been drawn to that. So
Are you still in touch with those friends from school?
Yeah, I am. I mean, that's the great thing about like things like Facebook and Instagram, right? That you find these people again, and it's just really nice to find out what they did with their lives and where they went. So but like I say, I'm a big talker. I talk to all my friends a lot, so
Cool.
they tend not to disappear too much because I don't let them.
You keep like chasing them. How are you?
Yeah, I'm just like, no, you will talk to me.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Next question. Who's your favorite supermodel?
Ooh, my favorite supermodel. I don't know. I don't really follow supermodels hugely. Like, I don't know. Like, it's not really a lifestyle that I'm that interested in. That's
Okay.
not awful. I really like some, like the photographers I tend to be more interested in, and artists. But I guess my favourite supermodel would probably be, I like Crystal Wren a lot because she was one of the first plus size supermodels, which was quite a big deal. I really like the sort of older school ones like Claudia Schiffer, and I like is it Dutz and Kruis, I think her name is. She's Dutch. I like her. She's really sound. So, but I don't know. Like whenever I read, particularly supermodels interviews and when they're talking, everything's so like scripted, you know, and like
Yeah.
the way that they talk is just very like one-dimensional, and I like people with a bit more something. Do you know what I mean? A bit more.
Yes, of course. Absolutely.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Next question
just
is...
to feed into the model stereotypes there.
Next question is, what's the worst advice have you ever given?
The worst advice I've ever given, or someone's given me?
You ever given, you? I try not to give advice for that reason, I think. It will probably be something stupid, like if my friends have had trouble with a boyfriend, and I said, oh, you know, give him a chance, or let him, you know, and then they found out that he's been cheating on them, or you know, like, and I've just been there going, no, everybody deserves a chance. You guys just need to talk it out, and then actually he's just been being really awful. So it's probably going to be something like that, I should think. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's do another question for you, Naomi. Okay. Right. Again about advice. If you could give one advice to the Prime Minister, which advice would you say?
Resign. Leave.
It's a advice anyway.
My biggest piece of advice, if you wouldn't listen to the first piece of advice, I would say that he, especially after the pandemic and lockdowns, he needs to channel a lot of funding into mental health, because there is going to be, I think, a mental health pandemic, unfortunately, and at the moment, I read somewhere a while ago, it might be different now, that only 3% of NHS funding goes to mental health, but mental health...
How many percent? How many
3%. 3%.
Oh, that's nothing.
Mm-hmm. And
wow.
It might have changed slightly, but this was a few years ago I read it, and it didn't surprise me. But the reason that most people miss working days is through mental health. So I think there's a real discrepancy between the need and the provision. Particularly now, children's charities like Bernardo's and NSPCC are saying 1 in 6 children will have a diagnosable mental health condition, particularly after lockdown. That's 1 in 6. That could be 5 in a class of 30. And I know from my work and from people that I work with that getting access to therapy and support is really, really difficult. Waiting lists for therapists are, like NHS therapists, are 6 months, 3 to 6 months sometimes. And you know, we're going to need to like really funnel funds that way. So that would be my advice.
Cool. I hope he'll be watching this interview in the future. I hope, imagine.
Yeah, imagine if he's like, do you know what, you are so right. I will resign after I've given loads of money to mental health.
Yes.
That would be my last thing that I do before I leave.
And you'll be so famous afterwards. People will be like supporting you to like.
I saved everyone. Amazing.
Right, let's get to another question, Naomi.
Okay.
Naomi, before the next question, tell me, in your opinion, what's the biggest cause of mental health nowadays?
I think it's probably the same as it's always been, really. I think people are complicated, and I think life is complicated, and I think upbringing, background, genetic factors all play a part. But I think there have always been and will always be people who struggle to just accept the way that things are. And in my experience, a lot of people who have mental health issues, it's because they're questioners. They don't just say, oh, okay, well, that's just how things are, and get on with it. They want to know why is that happening? And if they can't find answers, then they struggle. So I think it's a huge number of factors. It's, like I say, upbringing, lifestyle, people you surround yourself with, personality that you have. It's so many different reasons. But things like the pandemic, I mean, I think, you know, humans are social creatures, aren't they? And people have been very lonely and very cut off, and and that's a massive one. I think lack of connection is huge. So
do you think social media as well nowadays, it's kind of helps a lot to that to happen, the social media, Instagram, Facebook, all those?
do I think it helps with mental health, or
No, it increases the people with the mental health. They think with the nowadays with the social media, people just posting fake things online, and people just try to compare themselves with those people.
Yeah, I mean, I think there probably is a little bit of that, but I think that's quite I think that's quite a surface, like a tip of the iceberg thing, really. I think if you know, they often say, you know, the girls are starving themselves because of what they see on Instagram, but there were girls with eating disorders when I was young, there were girls with eating disorders way before that. I think if you're going to struggle, you're going to struggle. It doesn't really matter. I think social media can also have a massive connecting force, because it depends who you follow. If you follow, you know, there's a lot of mental health advocates, and there's lots of people. Yeah. I think talking about the flip side of it now, you know, you get lots of models and influencers on Instagram, particularly showing like, this is what I look like on Instagram, this is what I actually look like, to show the kind of reality of it.
Yeah.
And that wasn't around, you know, like 10, 20 years ago. It was just what you saw in a magazine that was airbrushed, and that was it. But I think people are a lot more honest now about that and about their struggles. So I think social media, like with anything with mental illness, I think it can help and it can hinder depending on what you look for from it. Yeah. So yeah.
Cool. Okay. Next question is, what is the biggest prize what's the biggest prize you ever won?
Biggest prize I've ever won? I never seem to win anything, but I'm really one of those people who says things like, oh, I'd love to win the lottery, but I never buy a ticket. So I'll say like, oh, I never win prizes, but I don't think I ever like enter anything.
It can be something, doesn't need to be material, but something, it could be some, like, you know, big gesture or something that you consider big.
Okay, so when I worked in a school a few years ago, there was a little boy that I worked with, and I was really fond of him, and he was only 9, and he nominated me for an award. Wow. With his church. They were Seventh-day Adventists, and he nominated me for this award for his church, and it was the Extra Mile Award, and all the children, it was really lovely, it was like a church initiative, but all the children could nominate an adult who's gone like above and beyond to help them and look after them and stuff, and he nominated me for this award, and I got it, and I went to his church. I went to his church on a Sunday evening, and I got called up, and he gave me the award. And this little boy, he's called Joey, I still remember like all of my kids, and that was a proper, like, you know, it was a really beautiful experience actually, and it was lovely. So I'd say that. Yeah. Very good. Are you enjoying the show so far? Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Let's get another question. Okay, Naomi, next question is, where do you see yourself living when you retire? Ooh. Well, given that I want to have lots of small dogs and small ponies, probably a bit of land. But I always say that, but I think I'm very much like a city dweller. I like having everything on the doorstep. So I'll probably, you know, with the millions that I win when I actually buy a lottery ticket, I'll probably have like a sort of country escape place, and then like an apartment in the city, so I can, me and my friends have talked about when we retire, like moving to like a loft conversion in Berlin or Paris or somewhere, and just being like those mad women who like wear Chanel and drink all the time. So either or, so it will be one of those. So I'll either be an alcoholic, but a glamorous alcoholic in Paris, or looking after fat ponies in the countryside. Let's see. Let's wait and see. Yeah, one of the two. I mean, we'll see. See how I feel.
Right, another question. Before the next question, tell me, what are you most proud of being British?
Ooh. It's not been, the last few years have not been a great time to be British, I'm going to be honest with you. I like the weird little British customs. I think that's probably one of the things I like the best. I like, like tea and scones, and I like the history. I'm a big fan of like history, so British history is like I really enjoy. I like that a lot, and I like the British sense of humour a lot. I'm a big fan of like British comedies like Alan Partridge and IT Crowd and Blackadder and Bottom and all of those. So yeah, definitely humour would be definitely up there. We can laugh at ourselves, even though which is good because we're quite ridiculous sometimes. So yeah, let's go with humour as my number one.
Very good.
Yeah.
Right. What is your favorite kitchen smell?
Cinnamon. Cinnamon, like baking cinnamon.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I really don't like the smell of like cooking fish. I don't think anyone really likes that, but I really hate that. And like meat fat being cooked, can't cope with that at all. So yeah, like sweet things like cinnamon and like the Christmassy smells, But yes. I'm not much of a cook. I don't really cook ever, so.
Welcome to the club. I'm
yeah,
not either.
So I only really get those smells if somebody else is cooking.
but I love the fried onions. When you're fried onions.
Okay, that's interesting.
I love them.
Yeah. Okay, that's an unusual one actually.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, basil. I like the smell of basil.
Fresh
basil, that's quite a nice one. But yeah, like I say, I'm not much of a cook, so.
Great.
Yeah.
Let's do another question for you. Right, let's get another question for you. What 3 things are you most grateful for?
Ooh. 3 things I'm most grateful for. It sounds really corny, but I think health massively because, one of the things that you take for granted, I've got a few friends who've got sort of conditions, chronic conditions, not life-threatening, but they're just that they live with all the time. And just the difference that makes to your life and what you can plan for. So health is a huge one, definitely. Friends, I'm really grateful for my friends. I've got some amazing friends and they make life really lovely for me. And I'm really grateful for the people that are good at the things that I'm not. So I'm really grateful that there are like musicians and artists and and people who develop vaccines and David Attenborough, all of those people who do the things that I don't do, but that make everything better for everybody. I'm always grateful for those people.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Right, Naomi, I have 3 questions left for you, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. Okay, next question for Naomi. If you were to raise a child, what are the most important things would you like them to learn?
Kindness and tolerance. Yeah, definitely. I just don't think there's anything more important in the world than being a nice person. Yeah, that's it, literally. And when I'm with the kids that I work with, I talk to them about that all the time. You can be the cleverest person, the richest person in the world. If you're not a nice person, if you're not kind, then there's no point. And you're not happy. Like, kind people are happier. That's just a fact. So definitely kindness and tolerance, definitely.
Okay, Naomi, 2 questions left. Let's do it. Naomi, let's do another question for you. Tell us about your guilty pleasure.
My guilty pleasure. I don't think I feel guilty about anything. I think Like I really love like just watching TV. Like I find it really relaxing. So I really like sort of really crappy action films. So like last night I watched Die Hard 4. I like things where stuff blows up a lot, and I'm also like really fascinated by like serial killers, which sounds really weird, but I find anything that's not like neurotypical really fascinating. So any documentaries about people who've done mad, horrible things, I find it weirdly fascinating because I want to understand like why that happens. So yeah, probably that.
I don't know if you watched this movie. I remember in Norway, the terrorist attack in Norway a few years ago, 2011, I think, when the guy was shooting those kids in the island.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie, 22nd of July?
No, I haven't seen the movie.
It's out on Netflix. I watched it the other day. Oh my God. It's it's about the day when it happened. It's really, I mean, as you said, I'm fascinated as well. And it's very sad, you know, creepy and everything, but it's very fascinating the way they put the movie out. And it's on Netflix. It's 22nd of July, the name, I think.
Okay,
yeah.
I will give that a go because I've just finished watching. My friend recommended that I watched The Jinx. That was one about a guy. It was so bizarre. That's it's not on Netflix, but it's a really bizarre. Like this American, he's from a millionaire's family, and like it just the way it all plays out. It's the documentary. It's really bizarre. The Staircase was another one. I don't know if you've watched that. That's really good.
I heard. Yeah.
That's mad. That's really mad. And I'm watching at the moment The Confession Killer, who's about this guy who just confessed to like 300, 600 murders, and then they're trying to work out if he actually did any of them. It's really, really bizarre. But yeah, I find that kind of thing really, really fascinating. So anything that's not quite. I had weirdly though, I have a bit of a fascination with Jack the Ripper.
Right.
But I know that sounds really weird, but less about who he, like I don't really care who he is. I just find, because I'm really interested in history, I find the period of history around him fascinating. Like everything was changing. The newspapers were being printed more, so the story was like getting all this traction. And but my partner of a few years ago, he got me tickets for Valentine's Day to a Jack the Ripper tour in London. I know, but obviously knew me very well, right? So, but we ended up going to the wrong tube station and we missed the beginning of the tour. Ooh. But because I recognised the names of the places where the bodies were found, like Spitalfields Market and stuff, I was able to like track where they'd be going on the tour, and we found it. I don't think anyone has ever been so disturbed ever in their life. I was like, Mitre Square, right? There was a body found in Mitre Square, they'll definitely be there. And we managed to like track down the tour, even though we missed the beginning. And yeah, he was genuinely like a bit like, Jesus Christ. So yeah.
She knows what she's talking about.
She knows, she's a terrifying attention to detail. So yeah, so that was a bizarre Valentine's for him.
That's very interesting. But this, you're gonna like this one, 22nd of July. It's very, actually, I just saw it was advertised on Netflix, and I was like, oh, let's watch that. And it's fascinating. I mean, it's fascinating, you know, like in a way how people can be so mad, you know, so mad.
We've got to put like brackets. I'm not weird, but it's really interesting.
It is funny. It's funny because my flatmate, I was watching my flatmate, and he just said, okay, I had enough. I'm gonna go to bed. And I was there like that, watching like very fascinating.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
Yeah, I know. And next day, actually, I had a dream about it. Next day, I was thinking about it. It took my head like for the whole night. I was thinking about it. But yeah, it's a bit, I'm sure you're gonna like it. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll give it a go. I'll definitely give it a go, yeah.
Right, ready for the last question, Naomi?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
just before the next question, there is other documentary as well called excuse me the language, don't fuck with cats.
Okay.
Yeah, so my flatmate, she loves cats, and she was like, oh, I've got this, there's this Netflix, it's a short series, like 3 or 4 episodes, about don't fuck with cats. I said, okay, let's watch it. It's nothing deals with about cats. It's just you're gonna like, actually, don't fuck with cats. Go and watch, you're gonna see. It's very fascinating. It's very fascinating as well. There's nothing about
like
cats.
serial killing cats or something.
No, actually. But there's something with cats that I don't want to spoil the thing, but there is just an episode with cats that is horrible, but the whole series is not based on that. It's based on this person. It's oh my god, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I'll give it a go.
Yeah,
22nd of July and don't fuck with cats.
Yeah. Okay. Next question is, tell us something interesting about yourself regarding that's what you just said now about those.
My bizarre knowledge of serial killers. Something interesting about myself. So I lived in South Korea when I was younger, and that was really fascinating experience. So I love traveling. I've been in all kinds of places because of that, and I'm really into history. I don't know if that's an interesting thing about me. It's
very interesting. Oh my god, it's very interesting. But how come you're living in North Korea for
South Korea?
Yeah,
South Korea. I was living in Seoul. I was teaching English.
Okay.
But I had my most bizarre stories all seem to come from then. So I brought back 2 dogs, not these 2 dogs, 2 different dogs who lived till a grand old age and then passed away, because everybody laughed because they eat dogs in Korea, and everybody laughed at me because they knew how much I love dogs, and they were like, "Oh, you're going to come back with 20 dogs, ha ha ha." and I literally had been there 6 days before I had a dog. 6 days.
Oh my god!
Because I found a dog in a pet shop that clearly had something wrong with it, like a little tiny puppy, and my boyfriend at the time was like, "There's something up with that dog, isn't there?" And we'd look at it through the window, and she was really small and scratching herself. And I just said to him, we went out on the Saturday to a museum or something, and I said to him, if that puppy's still there, I'm getting it. That's it. We'll have to just bring it home and put it in quarantine. We just have to do it. And I went in and bought this bloody puppy. And sure enough, she had scabies. She was really, really sick. But because, so we took her to a vet who was really, really good. But he said, she was really young. She was about the same size as Indy, but she was really, really young. And he said, if she's really sick, if she gets diarrhea or sepsis, that'll kill her. So I was so terrified of leaving her on her own, but obviously we just moved to this amazing city and we wanted to go and see stuff. So we just carried. My boyfriend, bless him, he's gone now, which I think explains a lot. But I said to him, we can't leave her at home. So she came everywhere with us, literally everywhere. And we had a sports hold-all bag, and it would just be filled with cushions and pillows and towels and stuff, and she'd just be asleep in it all the time because she was sick. And then every so often we'd just take her out, put her on the ground, she'd do a wee, give her some water, give her some food, put her back in the bag, right? Not fully zipped up, right? But she literally came everywhere, museums. We walked around museums with this hold-all with a dog in it, and we went absolutely everywhere with a dog in a bag for the first 3 months. Literally everywhere. And this one time we went to the oldest Korean village that's still in existence. So this is 900-year-old buildings. And we got dressed in traditional Korean outfits. And the lady took Polaroids. And she went to put the Polaroids in our bags for us. Right, obviously realising, unzip the bag, and there's just this tiny puppy face just looking at us. And I was expecting her to get really cross and chuck us out. And she went, ah! Got her out and just let her run around this 900-year-old Korean building. And I was just sitting there thinking, oh my God, don't we on the floor? But yeah, so we just had, and then we ended up with a second one, and then we brought them home, and they lived till they were 12.
How long did she live for, the dog?
The dog, how long did they live?
Yeah.
They lived till they were like 12. I got them at like
Oh,
6 weeks old each, and they lived till they were 12. So, and I brought them back to England with me, and yeah, so that was my level of commitment. I just was like 6 days in, and I was like, no, I'm getting that wrong. No.
Very good, very good. Naomi, let's play now the quick thinking game, okay? So I'm going to give away some words, and you just tell me one thing that comes to your mind, okay?
All right.
Let's start with politics.
Oh. Liberal.
Okay, love.
Love.
Yeah.
Temporary.
Interesting one. Interesting one. How about money?
Excellent.
Not temporary, please. Keep coming, yeah?
I know it. Love is temporary. Money is excellent. Such a romantic.
I love it. How about family? Temporary. Temporary.
Temporary. Get rid of them. Family is whoever you want them to be, I think. My friends are family, you know, family is fluid.
Okay. How about life? One word.
Exciting.
Sex.
Overrated.
Temporary.
Yeah, either amazing / overrated.
Right. How about religion?
Fascinating.
Okay. Fear.
Overcome. You can overcome it. Overcomeable. Is that a word?
Friendship.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay. How about desire?
Temporary.
This word's gonna be in my head now for the whole time.
Temporary.
All right. Regret.
Pointless.
Okay. How about success?
Individual.
Okay. Wish.
Pointless.
How about if I say mental health?
Important.
Okay. And the last one, United Kingdom.
Fractured.
Cool. Right, so let's play now. Naomi and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question, okay? Okay, Naomi, so you can ask me a question now.
Okay. Well, because I have a fascination with history, my question is, if you could meet anyone from history, who would it be and why?
I think I would meet Pedro Alves Cabral, the Portuguese who found Brazil. But I remember when I was living in Portugal before, before I moved to the UK, I was in Portugal. And I remember visiting the city where he was born. And it's just like, it was just like fascinating being this small town where the person who, discovered Brazil. And it's always been,
What would you ask him?
I was asking him, what was your first impression of what was your first thought when you arrived there in the land? What was your first,
what did you think of it? Yeah.
I think
it would have been so different, wouldn't it?
A lot of Americans around, all the natives living around. That's that.
Yeah. Interesting.
Very good.
Okay.
Good.
Thanks.
Naomi, did you have a good time?
I did. It's been really, really fun. Yeah, really fun.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You're such a lovely person. My God, it would be another hour talking to you here now. Very funny, very funny. Thanks so much for being so kind and sweet and accept my invitation. And before you go, if you can share a positive quote or a positive message, something that inspires you in life.
Something that inspires my life. My favorite quote is Gandhi, actually, I think, and it's be the change you want to see in the world. So I think nobody should feel that they are completely powerless. I think everybody has the power to change the bits they don't like, and if you can't change them, just live what you think things should be like. So if you think people should be kind, you're kind. If you think people should be tolerant, you be tolerant, and everybody has that power in them to be the right person. So
very good, very good. Thank you very much. Thank you. It was a
Oh,
pleasure.
brilliant. Thank
Okay.
you. That's great.
Anything,
Thank you so much.
Did you have a nice time? Enjoy the interview? William and the Magic Box. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, William and the Magic Box. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, just visit our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com. Give a like, share the video, and see you tomorrow with another lovely interview. Bye bye. See you tomorrow. Bye.